Welcome back. This is usually the Friday afternoon show, but I guess it's the Friday evening show tonight. Hope you're doing well. Loads to talk about on today's show. The recent acquisition of Jadon Sancho and the developments in that. Paul Pogba looking happy and some of the things his agent has said. The contract extension of Nemanja Matic. And of course, the promotion of Ethan Laird to the first team, as well as some thoughts, opinions on Jack Grealish. Not just his performance last night, but his performance across the season, because we've never really covered his stats. So we'll be covering that. If that's something you're interested in, smash that like button or gently caress it. Up to you. And please do consider subscribing if you are new. Gentlemen, how are you doing today, first off?
It's great. It's nice to wake up the day after United have just gone and got an amazing result. I wake up, it's like a daily routine now. You wake up, go have my tea, I go watch the reruns, analyze it some more, and I just enjoy my time. I enjoy it. Go on social media, see what's happening around United, and I'm good today.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. I feel like United tends to add to our daily stress, so it's nice to have that load off our chest. So it's all good.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just, it's refreshing. I think Manchester United are the first team in the Premier League to win, 4 or 5 games with a 3-0 or more scoreline. Yeah. And it's funny how Manchester City have never been able to do that. But, it's one of those weird stats that doesn't really matter in the grander scheme of things, but it just goes to show how well we're playing at the moment. And I think there's a lot of positivity in the camp. So Nemanja Matic got a contract extension recently. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on that.
I mean, I think it's good, but I don't like the length of the contract. And I'm also I'm kind of confused because we just gave him another extended year contract not so long ago. So, I'm wondering if this is just, typical United giving him a long-term contract. Hopefully they think that this guy can be our CDM for even longer than he needs to be and not invest there. So that's the only reason I'm worried about it. But other than that, Matic, I think he deserves it. I think for next season, he could be good. And even the season after that, I don't know. I think that's pushing it.
What is it until again? Is it 2022?
2023.
2023? Yeah, no, I don't know how I feel about that. I think Sean is right in saying that the year extension is good. We're seeing it with Liverpool and what's his name again? And Milner. He wants 2 more years, but they're only willing to give him 1 because of his age. And the club wants to move forward. And I feel like we need to do the same thing as well. Yes, he's been an asset and he's our best CDM at the club. But then going forward, we need to address that position. And them signing him till 2023, it doesn't give us much confidence, to be honest. But for the short term, I like it. I think next season, considering the whole coronavirus thing, we can't really sign too many players, so we're probably only going to sign attacking players. He'll be good. He'll stabilize the CDM position, and with Fred and McTominay behind him, it'll work well. But going forward, I honestly don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually changed my opinion on Matic signing a new deal. I mean, on at first glance, you look at it and you say this guy's 30s, in his 30s now. And he's in decline and all that great stuff, it's all relevant arguments. But I actually look at it and I say, if I'm Scott McTominay, if I'm Fred, if I'm, what's that other youngster in our team?
Sean Garner.
Garner and Levitt. I forgot what his first name is. If I'm any of those 4 players, I'm thinking to myself, damn, I've got Matic to teach me how to be a good CDM over the next 3 years, and Michael Carrick. I can actually become United's best CDM in 3 or 4 years. So it's not that bad. I think what will make it bad is whether or not Manchester United are going to spend in the summer, which is what we'll get onto in a bit. I think that is the most important thing, not whether or not Matic stays here long term, because I don't think Matic, and he might prove me wrong, but I think we all don't think Matic can play at this level for a very long time. His biological clock is ticking, and eventually it's going to get to a point where he just can't do it in the Premier League anymore. And I think this contract extension, we've got to look at it positively and look at it more as a way of helping the youth develop and still retaining an experienced player. Because if we sell Matic, right, what good does it do selling Matic and promoting McTominay as the first CDM? Because we haven't been linked to CDM yet. So if we didn't extend his contract, I think that would be the case.
Selling him was not the answer, definitely. But then I don't agree with giving him such a long contract. maybe they're planning to sell him on the way. In that case, it's fine. But I just don't want it to be them trying to find the easy way out. We're not going to sign a CDM because Manchester are playing well, and we've seen them do things like this in the past. So I just don't want that. I know they probably won't
that's what I'm
sign
saying.
one this summer, but next summer, if we want to challenge for the title, we need to be making big signings, and we can't be relying on Matic long term.
That's exactly what I've just said. If Matic signs long term, we've got to go and spend money in other areas and make sure we're not just relying on him. I agree 100%, 100%, 100 million percent.
I think when the contract first came out, I read somewhere on Twitter. I think like what you were saying about him, other players learning from Matic. I think it was Oli saying that that Matic has been a fantastic player, and that Scott will learn from him, and that Oli sees McTominay to be
Carrick.
that next and Carrick to learn from. But I think Oli sees McTominay to be that next Matic, next Carrick, and be more of a CDM.
Yeah,
and I don't want us tying ourselves to contracts that become a problem later in the future. If he surplus to requirements, let's say 2 years from now, and we want to bring in other players, but then we have a problem because we have such high wages on the players we already have. I feel like that can also be a problem because we see the Lingards and the Sanchez's of this world. So I would have preferred we give him another year on top of what he has, and it just be that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I respect that opinion. I respect that opinion. And look, it is what it is. So, Matic is here. And I personally choose to look at the positives because he's going to be here for a long time. Whether I like it or not, he's here till 2023 unless someone buys him, which I doubt they will, not in this market anyways. But anyways, moving on to that man on the left, Paul Pogba. His agent's been making a lot of noise, positive noise this time in the media, and he has been making a lot of noise as well. For the first time in a long time, we've seen Pogba doing Sky Sports interviews with a smile on his face before games and actually saying that he is kind of happy to play with Bruno and the likes of Martial at the club. It's the first time in a long time where Paul Pogba has actually come out and said he's happy at the club, even by himself, like not through his agent. It's amazing. What are your thoughts on Paul Pogba's situation at the moment? And what are your thoughts on his agent saying that Manchester United, or that Pogba's open to a new deal and that the ball is really in Manchester United's courts to make it happen and give them the financial package?
Well, look, Paul is a world-class player. And I've always said, if we can somehow keep Paul Pogba here, for me, it's bigger than Sancho. Paul Pogba is definitely my favorite player at the moment. I think with everything that's happening at United, it's very positive. Paul Pogba, in his right before Bruno came and before the team was performing how it was, he did have the right to leave. He really and I'm sure Paul must be thinking, listen, I know that Paul's not a stupid guy. He probably understands that it's probably even unlikely he could get a deal even if he wanted to leave. He's probably looking at Bruno. He's saying, he even said in Sky Sports interview that, listen, I'm playing from the back and I'm watching Bruno, Greenwood, Martial, Rashford doing all these beautiful things up front. And he's loving football and loving life at United. And I think that, it's positive signs. He came out, lots of fans wanted him to hear Paul say that from his voice. He came out, he said it. We're starting to see more positive things around Paul Pogba, and I just applaud it. I applaud the turnaround that Paul Pogba has had, and even with the fans, it's like the whole mindset has changed really with Paul Pogba, and I think, it is in United's court. I think they can give him the financial package, and I think Paul, cross fingers, touch wood, is going to stay at United.
And you guys know my opinion on the Paul Pogba thing is not completely positive, but I don't want to keep focusing on the negative on it. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's playing well, and if he enjoys playing with Bruno and sees a future at United, cool. I'm willing because I love Paul Pogba. And the only problem I have is what the dynamics around the relationship and the drama behind it and how it's affected our club in the past. But I'm willing to put that behind us and move forward and say this is a new phase and it's going to work better this time. And nothing will make me happier for that to be the drama to be sealed and confirmed by him signing pen to paper. So yeah, it's positive.
Yeah. And all I will say with regards to Paul Pogba is what I've always said in the last few podcasts is that he has to stay here if he wants to stay here. And if he wants to stay here, the ball is in Manchester United's court. And I hope that Ed Woodward will do the right thing and just give him whatever he wants. If there's anyone who should be on 400 grand a week at Manchester United, it's not the crap Alexis Sanchez, who ultimately is one of the crappiest wingers I've ever seen in a long time. His drop-off from Arsenal and the Player of the Season award it's more massive than I don't even know what analogy to
Falling
use because
off
I don't think there's an
Mount
analogy
Everest.
that can capture the scope. Yeah, it's more massive than someone falling off of Mount Everest and not even dying, but like falling into the ocean and going into the deepest depths of the earth. It's unbelievable. So, they've got to, if they're willing to give Sanchez 400 grand a week, they've got to be willing to give someone who actually deserves it and who probably help us build a winning team the financial package he deserves.
Yeah.
And also,
I think,
who's buying this guy? Because I understand people are saying his contract's going to run down and he's going to be cheaper, but just because a player's cheaper, that doesn't mean squat. If Paul Pogba was cheaper, the bid wars between the clubs that actually want him is going to force his price up again anyways, So it's not like people are just going to sign him on a free deal.
yeah, and
If it ran out, it would be a free deal though.
if it
So
ran
it
out,
wouldn't affect us in any way because our ties with him would be gone.
What's that?
if you ran down the
If the
contract.
deal ran out, our ties with Paul Pogba, he's not a Manchester United player anymore. So it won't really be our problem anymore.
Oh no, I get that. But people if it doesn't get to that point, if a team, yeah, no, actually no. That's a
Either
good
way,
point.
he's
Never
leaving
mind,
the
never
club.
mind.
If you think about it, either way, he's
Never
leaving the club. If it's with someone buying him before it runs out, and someone getting him by just paying his wages.
My
I'm
point
not saying
is,
Yeah.
but my point is, it's not going to be easy for clubs to get him. You can't just walk into what's his agent's name? It's not Mino
Riola.
Riola. You can't just walk into Mino Riola's office and be like, "Hey, I want Pogba on a free deal." Mino Riola's is not just going to be like, "Yeah." You have to put a good financial package. The point is, whoever gets Paul Pogba, whether it's on a free contract or they pay for him, they're going to have to bid really high for his wages because there's a lot of teams that would take him for free. That's my point. And so I don't think Paul Pogba's going anywhere in the summer because of that. I don't think anyone can pay his wages in world football. And the teams that can have shown interest in other players. Barcelona with the dodgy swap deal with Juventus. Real Madrid have shown that their priorities are elsewhere. They can't even afford Havertz, even if they wanted to. So the fact that Werner was 46 mil and nobody else but Chelsea bid it for him shows how serious their financial situation in football is at the moment. And maybe I'm speaking off my arse, but I genuinely believe that there's no team that can pay his wages.
That's true. But
That's
then
my
if
opinion.
he's free, it'll be very different because I feel like more people will be interested in a situation where they're not paying.
Yeah, that makes it worse.
That's more
that
the
makes
money.
it worse. The wages you're going to have to pay for him are going to be much higher than they would have been if you had just signed him, because everyone wants to get him for free. That makes it worse. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Paul Pogba won't leave Manchester United. I'm saying whoever is going to get Paul Pogba is going to have to bid really high, and he's going to have a bidding
I hear your
war.
point, and your point is valid. But the only point I was making is that it won't be our problem anymore. But
I get that. Like that's obvious. That's what a free contract is. It's not United's problem anymore, obviously.
Yeah, but I think.
Yeah.
No, but I was gonna say, but I think with Paul, where Paul is at the moment, we've heard him even say that he was asked about United's recent form and the future and stuff, and he's like, listen, everything is great. I love this team, whatever, and this shouldn't be anything exciting. This should just be the start because we are not Premier League champions, we are not UEFA Champions League champions, and you can see Paul is here for one reason. To win big trophies and do amazingly well and express his talent. And I think the ending of the season and the signings we bring in could be very crucial. But I think at the moment everything is looking good for Paul Pogba.
100%. Speaking of signings that we need to bring in, Jadon Sancho. I think Jadon Sancho is a must for Manchester United. I don't think any Sancho alternative is a W. That is my opinion, because I think the drop-off from Jadon Sancho to anyone else is massive, not just in terms of skill, but in terms of status. If Manchester United are really building for the future and Manchester United really want to go back to the treble-winning team and the team that dominated, the team that made Liverpool's dynasty look inferior to ours, we have to sign Jadon Sancho. We have to show that it's a status signing, it's a fan service signing. It's very similar to the Bruno signing, actually, in the sense that we don't need big money signings, but we need players who are young, who have a certain level of experience and a certain level of consistency, whether whichever one of those you value more than the other, we kind of need both, and they're looking for a step up. Now, whatever your opinion is of Borussia Dortmund are not one of the biggest clubs in the world. They're just, I would call them a talent agency. They sell their talent because of their financial problems. They're kind of like Ajax. They produce stars for other teams, And there's never been a player who's gone to Borussia Dortmund like, this is where I want to stay to win trophies for the next 10 years. It's always, I'm going to Dortmund to develop my career so that a Madrid, a United, a Barca, or any other team in the world can come and buy me and see what I'm doing in the Bundesliga. And I think Sancho is looking for that. And interestingly enough, there's been some German reports that have come out that apparently Borussia Dortmund have lowered their price for Jadon Sancho. It was initially 110 million quid. Now it's lowered to 90 million quid. And the football director, whatever you call his title, of Borussia Dortmund has come out and actually said that they are, he didn't say these exact words, but essentially what people are gathering from what he said is that they are looking for replacements in the summer for Sancho, which implies that he's leaving. And then another thing they said, this was more like a week ago, was that if Manchester United are serious about making a bid for Jadon Sancho, they have to do it by the 10th of August. Now, I don't think that really means anything. I think Dortmund are just forcing United to hurry up. So what are your thoughts on that, the whole Sancho situation?
Like I said, I've seen it in our fan base now that, Greenwood is performing amazingly well. Everything's going well, that some fans are saying we don't need Sancho. And I've never said that. I said Greenwood could bench Sancho. But we, at the end of the day, no matter where Sancho is, United need Sancho. Like, we desperately need Sancho because our bench is dead. It's dead. An injury is bound to happen, or, form is bound to dip at some point. And, Sancho is hungry and he wants to come. And it's just like, ever since the Sancho rumors started off, it's like always like United wanted Sancho.
Yeah.
And now when we've been performing well, it looks more like Sancho wants us now. Like he wants us as well.
He does.
Yeah,
I think it's
United.
pretty credible that personal terms have been agreed between us and Jadon Sancho. It's just about Ed Woodward putting the money on the table and saying, here you go. Here's your 90 mil.
Yeah, exactly. And with the Jadon Sancho signing, obviously, I'm excited of it. But like I've said, there is part of this deal that gets my nerves, a bit shaky because I've seen it happen over and over. And, no signing is ever guaranteed to do well. And, I am worried. I'll put my hands up and I'll say I am worried when Jadon Sancho does come to United. But looking over it in the past few weeks that United have been playing again, some pressure has decreased because I look at the team, I feel like we are different. And I even feel like, it's a better environment for Sancho to come in. And even if he doesn't hit the ground running like that amazingly, it's like it's no problem for me because I still have Mason Greenwood. I still have Marcus Rashford there as well. So, I think it's very good for Sancho to come. And I hope that he does come. And we do definitely need Sancho if we are serious about moving forward with United.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll be honest with you guys. I won't say I think we need a right wing, and I would love Sancho. And there's a lot of reasons which you guys have pointed out why Sancho would be the man. The status, the world-class level is playing that, it'd be perfect. But then personally, I just think we need a right wing. We need a quality right wing. Number one is definitely Sancho. But if we didn't get Sancho, I'd be okay if we just scoured here for looking for good right wings. And if we could patch up that position, even if somehow it's getting more than one player, personally, I'd be okay with that. In terms of the deadline, I honestly, my first thought was that they're bluffing, but you just never know.
Yeah, I think they just want Manchester United to do the deal quicker than they usually do. And the thing about Jadon Sancho at the moment is, again, it's the same as Paul Pogba. I don't think anybody else can afford him besides us if the price is what Dortmund say it is. If that ends up being the price anyways. Nobody else can afford him. But Manchester United, yeah.
And I think we will get Sancho a bit cheaper than what we initially had to pay. I think we could get Sancho for 70 to 80 compared to like 110 or 100 plus.
I think we will too, but my problem with Sancho is I'm worried about Manchester United, what they're going to do after Sancho. I'm worried that Manchester United were always going to sign Jadon Sancho. Manchester United are not signing Jadon Sancho because the market has crashed and they're trying to take advantage of it. They were always going to sign Jadon Sancho. And it's worrying to see that we haven't gone in for any new players, not really in terms of credibility. There's no player where you can bet your house and say, we're actually in for him at the moment, besides Grealish and Sancho, and we were in them before COVID started. We were in for them before COVID started anyways. So I just worry that Manchester United aren't going to spend as much as they need to catch up to teams like Liverpool and City in the summer if they only go for Sancho. And even if we get Grealish, I feel like we need just one more.
I think we do
one
need
more quality signing.
But I'll be considering the whole situation, I'll be very happy as a United fan if we could get Grealish and Sancho. I understand we need more, and we definitely do need more. But
I would
For
be
me,
gassed,
that's
but
good.
I would look at Chelsea and be like, look at what they did. We're one of the richest clubs in the world. Look at what they did. They got Ziyech, Werner, and they could still get Havertz. And we're out here celebrating too. You know, it's crazy.
No, I agree. I just don't see it. I think if I have to be bold and predict, I think we're only going to sign Grealish and Sancho, and that'll be it for the summer. And yeah, you can understand they have a perfect excuse with the whole situation right now, so they'll get away with it. But yeah, those will be the only two signings we make.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair enough. It's fair enough, man. Anyways, moving on from Jadon Sancho. What were your initial thoughts of how Jack Grealish played yesterday? I know a lot of people will judge him on that performance, but personally, I think it's unfair because, for obvious reasons, he's playing against Manchester United, who are in red-hot form, in a crap Villa team that is probably going to go down this season, and he's doing all the work himself. What did you think of Grealish yesterday?
Well, Grealish yesterday, he's a one-man team. Like, let's be honest, he's a one-man team, and against this type of United team, it's mission impossible. Grealish is amazing things, but even if you had Messi alone, Messi's not going to beat this United team alone. Ronaldo won't beat this United team alone. And you're asking a lot for Grealish, and I don't think people should judge him, especially United fans, on that game yesterday, because I've watched a lot of Grealish. I watched Grealish in the Championship get this team promoted. I watched Grealish a lot this season. 70% of his games I've watched. I'm a huge Grealish fan. I see a lot of the way I want to play and the way I like to play in Jack Grealish. And I think, Grealish is like a headless chicken at the moment. He's trying to defend. He's trying to run the midfield. He's trying to run the attack. And, it's crazy. I just want United fans not to get on his back too much as well, because Grealish is a quality player, and I really, really want him at United. I can't stress it enough how crucial Jack Grealish is to coming to United, because he is a quality player, and I think him in this type of United team will allow him to be so much better and grow so much more. And he fits the profile, leadership, lots of charisma. Once he's got that hunger to do better, this is a big step up. So yeah. And he'll be cheap, and he's English, so he fits the profile. And Jack Grealish for me is definitely going to be my sign, my fan sign for this week.
It could be the next Roy Keane, because Roy Keane got relegated when we bought him. Just saying.
Yeah, no, this is a perfect deal. No matter how you play it, it will never sway me away from that. Signing Jack Grealish is perfect for us. Last night, he's playing in a Villa team that's struggling. They're fighting relegation. Yeah. Confidence is very low, and they're facing basically the best team in England in form. So you can't really judge him on that. And he's consistent. If you want to look at these stats, he's been consistent throughout the whole season. So
yeah, I think there's a crazy stat he has 500 more chances, 500% more chances created than all his teammates.
Yeah, and he's the most foul player. And remember, this guy doesn't rest. He's played every single game.
Yeah, 500% is a lot, guys.
He plays an insane amount of games, and he creates a lot of chances. That's exactly what we need, and he's definitely going to improve us.
And he's the most fouled player in the Premier League as well.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, you can't make an argument against him not improving us when you look at our bench. So we definitely need this player.
Yeah, I mean, obviously every signing could go south, but if Jack Grealish went south, I'd still be there saying it was the right deal to make, because that's just how football works. Jack Grealish is always going to be the right deal to make, even if he comes to Old Trafford and flops. In hindsight, it was the right deal because of how well he did at Villa, regardless of how it turns out. Some signings are just like that. But yeah, I think it's great. It's fantastic. And just shortly before we get to Ethan Laird, the final talking point of the show, what would you think of getting someone like Nathan Ake in this market if Bournemouth got relegated for 20 million quid? Because I tell you what, Nathan Ake for 20 million quid, it's not really much of an error. What could go wrong? Unless he got injured like Phil Jones for the next 6 seasons.
Yeah,
what could go wrong?
I was telling my one United friend offline, on the side, we were just speaking. I said, if you had to take one player from each of those relegation teams, you get Grealish, Ake, and Todd Cantwell. And those three are amazing players. And listen, with regards to Ake, you won't even come with this high expectation, because he's literally got the only thing he has to lose. He's got nothing to lose, is what I'm saying. And he can only impress us and improve us. And he could fight for Lindelof's spot, Maguire's spot, and he could complement one of them. But yeah, I see it it's such a logical signing, which is the problem, because I don't think United could make such a logical signing.
No. I like Shane's idea of going for the relegation teams and signing Cantwell, Ake and Grealish. I think maybe the worry with that, so sometimes when you sign too many players at once, as we've seen with Liverpool when you sign Southampton players, is that it's kind of hard for them all to click at the same time. But I feel like those players are much better than what we have, and I would love to have them in. And maybe the problem would be, is there enough space in the squad? How high our current wages are? But with Ake specifically, I think he would improve us. And as I said the other day, I think he'd be coming in as a Maguire replacement. And I think that's perfect because Maguire is always playing. And if we can get someone to rest him who's of a decent quality, that's perfect.
And at the end of the day, nobody really knew who Van Dijk was when he was at Southampton. Only the people who actually watched Southampton and analysed him and looked at this guy and went, I like him. And you would have sounded a bit crazy if you said he was going to go and win a Champions League with Liverpool. But he did, because he needed to move to a better team where his leadership qualities and all the things that are good about him could become part of a complementary duo. And I think if you bring Ake to Manchester United, it's just again, it's status. It's not the same status as Jadon Sancho. It's a different kind of status. It's sending a statement to teams saying, look at what we're doing. We're taking advantage of a crap market and we're signing a player who's going to be relegated soon. Not just Jack Grealish, but Ake as well. And we're bringing him in. And we don't care that we have 7 defenders because ultimately 4 of them are not good enough and one of them is not here anyways. He's in Roma, Yeah. So we're bringing this guy in and we want to improve as Manchester United, and somebody's going to take the L. Somebody's just going to have to not play because 4 somebody's already not playing. 2 of them because they're always injured and the other 2 because they're just crap. And in case you don't know who I'm talking about, Rojo, Phil Jones, crap. Smalling is in Roma. Bailey is always injured, and I still think he's crap when he's not injured. So take that with a pinch of salt. And then the other one is Tuanzebe, who's been out for a year. And I don't think a young player can be out for that long and then come back and still fulfill the quote-unquote world-class potential that they have. It just the football I watch, that just never happens. I think for me, the jury's out on a player like Tuanzebe. And I know a lot of people like him, but I feel like at such a young age to have that many injury problems is worrying. It never ends well.
Yeah.
It never ends well. Injuries at a young age like that never turn into Ballon d'Or winners.
But it's hard to not see him go to Chelsea, to be honest.
Who, Tuanzebe?
Ake, that is.
Ake.
I don't know if they have a buyback clause or if he's on loan. Is it loan or buyback clause?
They have a buyback clause.
Buyback, yeah.
They have a buyback clause.
You need defenders. He's playing well. Lampard's all about youth, and then Bournemouth might get relegated. So if I'm being honest, I see this for Chelsea.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get Ake, but I definitely think we should. And that's what I mean when I say taking advantage of the market. Oh, wow, we got Sancho and Grealish. What's another 20 million quid then? Go on. Sign him. If Ake costs 40 million, then I understand why you don't sign him. I'd be over the moon if we sign Sancho, but we should sign Sancho. It's a must. It has to happen. It's not something I want. It has to happen. And I think signing Sancho is just not enough. And I wish United would just take advantage of this market, but they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it.
Because it'd be great if United got Sancho, Grealish, Cantwell, Ake. What a window that is. That's mad.
Yeah, it's like Ake can't go wrong. He can't be any worse than what we've already got. He's not going to be doing Cruyff turns and handling the ball with his arm and, running into slide tackles like his leg is made out of steel. Ake is just not that kind of player, and he's probably what we need at the moment. But anyways, moving on to our final talking point then of the session, Ethan Laird. I'm going to be honest and say I don't know much about him. How much do you guys know about him? And if you do know anything, how about you educate us then?
No, listen, from what I've heard, this man is a baller. He is a proper baller. I think I've seen a few clips. I haven't watched him, obviously. I can't watch all the youth players, but I've seen bits in there, here and there. And as a right back, defender, right back. He can play other way, but like I would consider him mainly right back. But I think he could be a better like backup instead of Delo, in my opinion, because I think he's got more skills to go forward. I think and I think this guy. Yeah, obviously, I think he'll have to prove himself, and he recently got put in the first team, and I think Ollie's going to plan to use him very soon. I think maybe in the Europa game, I think we could see, hopefully, his debut there.
It won't be his debut.
It won't be his debut, but it'll be like,
Okay, maybe
the first.
It will be his first breakout game.
Yeah, but I remember he played in the Europa League when Ole was playing a second team, and I was very impressed with him. I thought he had a really, really good game, and I was hoping they called him up, but I guess Ole just didn't think there was enough evidence back then, and clearly he's been consistent, and yeah, proud of him, well deserved. And look, I like Dallo because of his attacking side, but then defensively he is pretty poor, and even with the attacking, he's not consistent. So if this guy can come in and do a better job as our backup, it'll be great.
Well, what would you? This is a bit of a weird one, but I heard a very good comment the other day, or saw a really good comment rather. What would you think if we signed a left back and we played Luke Shaw as a left-sided centre back to solve our centre back issues? Because the few times that Luke Shaw has played there, he's been far, far better than the likes of Eric Bailey and anyone else we have to back up except maybe Smalling. And Smalling, there's still question marks about him because he's playing in Roma, as opposed to what do you think of that? Because I think Luke Shaw could be fantastic.
Yeah, I think on paper, if you look at it, he's got the pace. He's that left-sided defender that would complement Maguire a lot. He does have that pace. But and then I don't know. I feel like I like Luke Shaw at left back a lot. Yeah. I really do. So for me, I'm not saying it can't work, but for me, I would rather get another centre back instead of like playing Luke Shaw there, getting a left back. Unless the way you convince me to do that is United go completely out of the blue, play Luke Shaw there, and you got Alphonso Davies. Then I'm all for it. All for it, definitely. If you get Alphonso Davies to be the left back, done deal. I'm there.
That'd be awesome, but it's not happening, or more specifically this summer. But yeah, I think it could work, but I just wouldn't like it. I think he's brilliant at left back, and he wants to play that. Supposedly he wants to play, so I'd rather it just be like that, and we go spend and buy an out-and-out centre-back.
Yeah, but United won't do it because we got Sancho and Grealish, and that costs so much money. Like my boat in Marbella I'm going to have to sell my boat in Marbella if we're going to go and get Ake now. And I can't go to England. I wanted to go on tour to England because I'm an American owner who owns a football club halfway across the world, and I like traveling. Is that such a crime? And in case you don't know, that's a Glazers impression, by the way. The best one I could think of. But yeah, I agree. I think the Glazers need to just sell the club, honestly, so we can get some proper owners who spend money. That's the grand solution to all our problems. Or at least meet us in the middle and just sell one of their mansions in America. One of the two, But anyways, that's been your Friday afternoon / Friday evening show. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one. Peace out.